A new player has entered the field. Supabase calls itself an open source Firebase alternative, offering most of Firebase's important features with a very lightweight SDK. Hey, this is Flo. In this video we will go over Supabase and I will teach you the CRUD operation. So create, read, update and delete. For that I have already created a new project in the Supabase console, which you can log into using your GitHub account. I've just created a sample project called Supabase CRUD for create, read, update and delete. And I have also already copied over my API key and project URL into a constants file, so we can access it later on. First, let's look into the database. The database is basically similar to Firestore in Firebase. This is basically just your data storage that you can use similar to the Firestore in Firebase. Let's get started by creating a new table, because Supabase is actually based on relational database instead of the document-based database that Firestore uses. Let's call this table to-dos. I don't care about the description. For this video, we will not talk about row-level security, but you should definitely look into this in the docs if you plan on using Supabase in one of your live projects. Next, we need to set up all of the columns that we want to have in our database, which are basically the properties of our to-do struct, if you want to call it that. So we don't care about when it was created. Let's give the to-do a title, which is a text, and let's also give it a done status, which is a boolean. And then we have the ID as an integer, which is the primary key of this table. Let's hit save to create the table. Okay, now we have our table created in which the data will then be stored once we have some data. To access our data, we have to import Supabase Swift into our project. So let's grab the URL from GitHub. It's github.com/supabasecommunity/Supabase Swift. Let's get into our project, into the package dependencies, hit plus and paste the URL. One thing to note here is that as of this recording, the Supabase Swift SDK does not have any version numbers, so you will have to use the branch master as your dependency rule. Let's just hit add package and add package one more time. This will probably be really fast if you compare it to something like Firebase, which usually takes ages to fetch, because this API is actually very lightweight and loads pretty fast. Okay, now let's actually get into code. So first of all, let's create a to-do struct. So this will be a struct called to-do. Let's make it identifiable. This will have an ID of type integer. Then this will also have a title of type string, and then also done of type bool, because these are the three columns that we had defined in our table editor in the Supabase dashboard. Okay, this is our data structure. Let's get back into content view. For the sake of this video, let's just create a view model in the same file. So let's just call it content view model. This will be an observable object. And in here, we will store a published var of our to-dos, which is an array of type to-do. And in the beginning, it should be empty. Next, let's write a function that creates a to-do with a given ID and a given label, and then let's connect that to some UI. So let's call the function func create to-do with ID that's an integer, and then and title that's a string. In this function, let's first of all create the to-do, pass in the ID, the title, and done should be false by default. Now there's one very important aspect that you need to know, and that's that you need to encode your data in order to work with it in Supabase. To make that easier, we will just write a very quick encode function using a JSON encoder and JSON serialization that we can then use later on in several of our Supabase functions here. So let me write that up real quick. It will be a private function called encode a to-do, and this can throw error since we're dealing with encoding, and it will return the type any. I know I find any very ugly as well, but that's what Supabase actually expects in their API. So let's guard here, let our data equals try JSON encoder dot encode the to-do, and in order for that to work, the to-do needs to be encodable. It will also need to be decodable later on, so let's just directly make this codable. Okay, and then next, let's say let dictionary equals try JSON serialization dot JSON object with our data and the options of fragments allowed. Okay, if any of that fails, we want to just throw any kind of error. I will just throw an endless error here because that's very easy to instantiate. And then let's also print something like error encoding new to do. And let's remove that new part, error encoding to do. And then in the end, let's return the dictionary. That's the JSON object that we got back from the JSON serialization.json object function. Okay, so now that we have that set up, we can finally actually create a to-do. So to do that, let's get back into the create function. Let's say guard let dictionary equals try to encode our newly created to-do. If that fails, let's just return out this function. No error thrown here right now. Next, we need to construct a query. Queries are basically what you execute on the database in Supabase. So to construct that query, we will have to create a Supabase client. Since we will need this in many places in the view model, let's just make it a lazy var client equals Supabase client. And if we hit enter here, Xcode automatically imports Supabase for us. The initializer expects a Supabase URL, which is our constants.Supabase URL, and then it also expects a Supabase key, which is my constants.Supabase key. Now we can actually use that client to construct our query. So let's say let query equals client dot database. If you want to access the auth functionality, then you wouldn't say .database, you would say .auth here. Next, let's say from our table to do. So this is very similar to SQL here with the from. And then let's say insert our dictionary that we created using the encode function. Okay, so this is our query, but this has not been executed yet. So next, let's create a task so we can use the new Swift concurrency API. And inside of that task, let's just say underscore equals try question mark await query dot execute. And once that's done, we can switch back to the main queue and add that to do to our to do's array. So let's say self dot to-dos dot append our new to-do. Okay, let's get back to the UI and add some fields to actually create this to-do. So let's replace this text with a VStack. Let's add a text field, title of to-do title, and for the text, let's add a state variable at state var title, and this is just an empty string in the beginning. let's bind to that title here. Let's add a button, let's say create to do inside of that button. And for the action, we will call our viewModel.createToDo function. In order to have that, let's create a state object private var model, and that's just our content view model. And now in here we can say model.createToDo with an ID and our title. And for the ID, let's just say dot random in range 0 to a very large number. That should be. Okay, let's enter the to-do title of new to-do and let's hit create to-do. Now let's get back to the Supabase console, hit refresh, and then we should be able to see our new to-do with the done set to false in our database. Next, let's write a function to fetch to-dos. So now we have the create and then the read. So func get to-dos. Let's make this an asynchronous function as well. Let's once again construct a query. So our client.database.from our to-dos table, and let's select everything. Let's say guard let response equals try to await the query dot execute. And then once we have that response, let's say let to-dos equals try response dot decoded to our type to do, an array of that type actually, using a JSON decoder. That's the default option, so we can just get rid of that. And then if any of those two fail, let's print error decoding to-dos and let's return. So now that we have the to-dos, we can switch back to the dispatch queue.main.async and let's say self.todos equals to the to-dos that we just fetched here from our query. Let's go into our content view. Right below the vstack, let's attach a for each going over our model.todos with a to-do in. And in this for each, let's just add a text of the to-do.title plus the to-do.id. Okay, and actually let's make this a list instead of a for each. Let's run this, or before we run this again, let's add the task modifier to the vstack. And inside of this task modifier, let's try our model.getToDos. Let's run this again and see if it works. Of course, we need to try to await. Okay, and as you can see, now we have our list here with our new to-do and that same ID that we saw in the table editor just a second ago. And now if we create a new to-do, let's call it to-do2, let's create. It will get appended to the list, but not because we have some kind of real-time listener. It will get appended because we're doing these 3 lines of code right here in our create to-do function. Next, let's update a to-do. For that, let's create another function called update to-do with any ID, which is an int. And we will just change the to-do title to updated real quick, just to see how updating a record in Supabase works. As always, let's create a query. This is our client.database from our to-dos table. And now the operation is update, and you pass in a dictionary of values that you want to update. So in our case, we want to update the title to be updated. And now we have to specify for which to-do we want to update it, and we want to do it for all to-dos where the ID column equals the ID that we passed into the function. In the end, we will just execute that query. For that, we will also write a little helper function, execute our query here. So let's create a private func execute a query, which is a post REST result, a post REST filter builder. In order to use that, we also need to import post REST. I think that's how you spell it, almost post REST like that. Okay, and inside of that execute function, we will just construct a task. We will construct a do catch block. In the catch block, we will just print any errors that come up when executing the query. And here we will just say underscore equals try await query dot execute. This is just a little helper function, so we can use it again in the delete function. Of course, we could also do it the same way and not care about any errors using the try question mark syntax that we did in the task. Okay, but now that we have this in place, let's go back into our content view. Okay, and now in the content view, we will just add a swipe action to our text. In there we will have a button called update, which will just call our model.update to do with todo.id. Okay, there are actually still two tiny things that we need to do. First of all of these column values need to be a string. So we will have to create a string using that ID. And also for us to be able to see the changes, let's add the refreshable modifier to the list here. And in there, let's say try await model.getToDos. So just we can swipe to refresh. Okay, now that the app is running again, we have our two to-dos, and for the second one, let's slide it over and tap on update. Nothing happened because we haven't refreshed anything, but now if we pull to refresh, it will say updated instead of to-do 2. Alright, lastly, let me show you how you can delete to-dos. For that, let's create another function called delete to do with ID, just as before. In here, basically the same stuff. I think by now you will understand how Supabase works. So let's create a query using the database dot from our to-dos table. Now the delete operation, but we don't want to delete everything. We only want to delete where the ID field equals the ID that we pass into the function. And then in the end, let's say execute our query. Let's also add that as a swipe action. So let's add a second button here saying delete, and this will just call model.delete to do with our to do ID. Let's also give this a tint of red, and let's give the update a tint of orange. Okay, so now you can see both of the to-dos that we already had. Let's slide over here. Let's hit delete on our updated to-do, refresh the list, and you can see it's gone. And if we go back over to Supabase, refresh the table editor, then you will also see that only the new to-do is there and the to-do 2 or the updated to-do is gone. Okay, so to briefly summarize, you need to create a Supabase client from your URL and key. Then you always need to create a query using the client.database from your table and then the method that you want. So either insert, select, update, or delete. Then you can append some predicates like equals, lower than, greater than, or whatever. And then you need to execute that query either using our custom error handling asynchronous execute function here, or just doing it yourself by calling query.execute. Be sure to let me know if you're using Supabase in any of your projects by leaving a comment down below. Consider subscribing to the channel if you enjoy learning about iOS development. That's it. Bye.